I was my boyfriend's mistress and his daughter now hates me even though I did nothing wrong. How do I make her see this? My boyfriend Chase and his wife first met when he was 20 and she was 18. 5 years later they got married and had a baby daughter Jane. They had more beautiful babies throughout the years and had a beautiful relationship until Chase filed for divorce on December 2022. Their relationship was breaking down for multiple reasons, such as they were both too tired to look after the kids. I first met Chase when I took my niece and nephew and younger cousins to the park and Chase and his wife were there. I overheard them argue as their children were playing so they couldn't hear them and they weren't noticing. Chase's wife at the time Willow was asking him where the diapers were and Chase forgot. This has caused an argument since Willow answered back, "Please tell me you did not forget the diapers? How am I supposed to change them now, hey? With leaves? The baby pooped itself. Can you go back to get them, honey?" Chase said he can't because he's tired and he can't walk back 6 streets away just to get a packet of diapers. What do you mean you can't walk back a few streets away? I was the pregnant one, not you. You don't have to worry after walking a few streets away. Can you at least buy me a new pair of diapers? Chase looked confused. For you too? For the baby. Stop trying to be funny. I will go since you keep on doing my head in. Willow storms off to go to the shops. I swooped in there and then and told him vertical bar I had seen them arguing a lot recently at this park. I asked him if she always yells at him this much. Chase told me pretty much since she got pregnant with the 4th kid. That's not normal. I'm sorry you had to go through that. It's not normal to treat your partner like that. Pregnancy is not an excuse to be rude to people. How about I lend you a diaper so you can change the baby? I asked him. He thanked me and then we made small talk. I met their baby for the first time and she was so adorable. Chase told me her name and I said hi to baby Jessica. From there, Chase and I became friends. I told him I found the wife needing diapers joke funny and we had a good laugh. Willow came back shortly after a little stunned, but she didn't think much of it since she had male friends too and she's not the type of person to get paranoid over having friends of the opposite gender. I quickly befriended Willow and we followed each other on Facebook and Instagram shortly after before coming home. I saw Chase a week later in a pub with his then wife Willow as they were having drinks for the first time since giving birth. Willow had to go to the bathroom, and I began to chat to Chase. I asked if Willow still nags at him to which he responded yes. I felt bad and said don't worry, if she can't treat you right then I will. Don't tell her or she will get mad before winking at him which made him giggle. The problem, from there, we began dating behind Willow's back until last December when Willow came back with Jane to get her nails done and caught me and Chase cuddling on the sofa watching TV. She flipped out extremely at us to the point where both Willow and Jane were in tears because of it. Chase tried to explain it's not what it looks like until he realized no one was buying it. Their 5-year-old Alex was asking why his mom was yelling at his dad until Jane pointed at me and said it was my fault. Alex looked sad and went back upstairs. I told Willow we were sorry, but it was not appropriate to argue in front of the kids and to think of the children. Willow screamed back, if you care so much about the kids then why did you break up their family? I finally found happiness after such a rough life I went through and you ruined it just because you wanted Chase for yourself just because you're jealous and you couldn't find anyone so you had to steal people away from others. Willow suddenly realized Jane was watching everything and began crying and apologizing to the children for making them watch that and she wasn't thinking straight but she didn't mean to upset them. The younger ones were just scared and stood there, but Jane told her it's okay and it's not her mom's fault that I'm horrible. I went quiet because I didn't know a 7-year-old knew what those words meant, but I guess she was repeating them from their mom so that's what influenced her to act that way. I apologized and explained to her that it wasn't appropriate for us adults to argue in front of children. I explained how I tried to get them to stop, but her mother wasn't listening. She told me that me and her dad shouldn't make my mom angry if I didn't want her to shout at me, called me a fat pig and told me to get lost. She stormed off to her bedroom. I tried to explain that I am sorry for breaking up her family and asked if she wanted to move on, put that in the past and that me and Chase will always love the kids. Alex and Chelsea, their 2-year-old daughter, accepted my apology, but Jane kept on ignoring me. Chase and I got kicked out and then they ended up getting 50-50 custody. Chase and the kids then moved into mine. When they first got to my house since I offered Chase and the kids to move to mine since I have more room, I wanted to welcome the kids by giving them a hug, but Jane pulled them away and said she hurt Mummy and made her sad so don't go near her and told me she didn't want me here and she only came because she was forced to. I gave them their teddy bears with their names on it which I got knitted by my sister just for them with my own money. I thought it wouldn't hurt to give the kids a small welcome present. Jane told me she hated the teddy bears and they look ugly. She said she has her own one that Mummy gave and Mummy's one was better. Why is she acting like her mom's personal therapist? It's not her job to look after her mums. Anyway, Jane came running to sit on the sofa. She used her fingers to go through the sewn-up teddy bear and rip them apart, then stormed off to her bedroom. I went to my bedroom and cried. I got that made personally just for the children as a welcome gift and she destroyed it. Why is she rude to me every time she comes to my house? I know I upset her mother, but I wanted her to bond with me, but she wouldn't let me. I tried to come to her events, but she ran up to her mom and dad in happiness then pulled a tantrum every time she saw me. She says she won't stop pulling a tantrum until I go, and I had to leave almost every family event in tears because everyone will stare at me and give me dirty looks. Willow tells me that I should have thought about that before breaking up the family, and I said I know and I'm sorry. I've already been punished enough, and now my own boyfriend's parents and family hate me. Jane always starts crying every time I'm joining in. She got on well with Chase eventually, but she still hates me. Last month this year, I showed up with Chase to celebrate her birthday as Chase was invited, but she began screaming and crying and said she doesn't want me here and I ruined her birthday. She grabbed my present, opened it up, and broke the doll into pieces before throwing it in the bin and said it was the worst present ever and made me cry. Willow said, well, no one told you to cheat with my ex-husband and break up the family. You should have thought about that beforehand, and that it's her choice. If she doesn't want you here, then you should leave, since I didn't even want you guys coming here, but I only invited you both just so you don't sue me for parental alienation. Me and Chase were cussed out by the entire adults, especially Willow's granddad, who came up to me and screamed at me saying it was my fault for breaking up the family and manipulating Chase, along with Chase's mom even trying to escort me out with his dad escorting both of us out. It even got to the point where now she will get up, get changed, have a shower, have breakfast, brush her teeth, go to her maternal grandparents, my parents, my grandparents, or go out in the town with her mom all day, then come back late at night at 8:30 p.m., brush her teeth, get dressed and go to sleep. She even demands she has sleepovers to get away from me and her dad during his custody turn. He tried to sue for parental alienation, but the judge said unless she's sleeping over her mom's during our custody term, then her meeting up with her mom outside of her house is not violating custody agreements. How do I get her to stop avoiding me and hating me and get her to understand that she doesn't have to be afraid of what her mother thinks?